In the journey of becoming a dad making a difference, there are 6 pillars in which you need to build a foundation. Today, we are continuing on in this 6-part mini series on the 6 pillars of dads making a difference, what I call the Fatherhood 360 framework. And in today's episode, we are diving into pillar 1, prioritizing your physical and mental health. So we're going to dive into why it's important for you right now to prioritize your mental health and your physical health so that you can set a standard for well-being and health in your family. We're going to talk about why making yourself a priority in your physical health and your mental health is not selfish and actually is helping you become a better dad, better father, better leader, better business owner, better entrepreneur. Self-care is not selfish. And today we're going to dive in exactly to 3 steps you can take right now to prioritize your mental health and physical health so you can start your path to becoming a dad making a difference. This episode on the DMD podcast starts right now. Hello, my friend. Welcome to this episode of the Dads Making a Difference podcast. Last week on last episode, I dove into the 6 pillars of dads making a difference. And I shared on that episode that I was going to dive in to those 6 pillars in a series of solo episodes to inspire you to make some change, because we are getting into the tail end of this year. We're less than 60 days until the end of 2023. And I want you to be your best, not for January 1st, but before, because we get into a habit of not making change until we hit these calendar events, January 1st, New Year's Day, New Year's resolutions, and we're going to start now. And I think a healthy practice for us right now in Q4 is to be able to reflect upon the year that's passed, not to make changes and wait to make changes in 2024, but to start doing the 1%, the one thing, the one step right now that's going to push you in the right direction, that's going to make an impact in your family, in your business, in the community around you. And so I'm going to dive into the first pillar. And now, if you're familiar with the pillars, I'm going to review them real quickly as we get in. If you haven't listened to all the pillars in the last episode, go back and do that. And then come back to this. Last episode is about 25 minutes. Guys, this is going to be about 25 minutes. I'm going to speak to something I'm passionate about in this episode. You guys know me. If you know me from Fight the Dad Bod, you know that this is a passion of mine, this pillar. And so we have 6 pillars within the Dads Making a Difference Mastermind group, 6 pillars that we build this podcast on, that we hope that every guest can speak to at least one or more of those pillars so that you can walk away with actionable steps to make a change in your life right now. And so real quickly, I'm going to go over those 6 pillars in what I call the F360 framework, Fatherhood 360 framework. The first pillar, what we're going to go over today, and the only reason I'm doing this first, because I really believe it's a foundation, is a commitment to physical and mental health. Then fostering strong and effective relationships and healthy relationships. We're going to do that next week or upcoming episode. Then a commitment to growth, responding appropriately, organization and balance, and building capacity in others. Those 6 things are things that we want you to achieve on your journey to becoming a dad making a difference. Now, guys, I want to be very clear. You are a dad listening to this podcast. You are a dad making a difference. The guests that we've had on this podcast are dads making a difference. You don't have to be perfect in all 6 of these. But my challenge to you is this, that you are aiming to improve 1%, one thing, one step in at least 1 or 2 of these areas right now. And today I want to dive into a commitment to physical and mental health, because guys, this is an important topic. I'm going to actually start with the mental health piece, guys, because so many of us are living in isolation. And in isolation, we start to do something on our own that we would never do in a group of others. And that is, we start to beat ourselves up. We start to beat ourselves up mentally. We ask questions and we don't have answers to them. And because we start to spiral in our head, something happens. We start to spiral, thinking about all the negative things that could happen, thinking about all the ways that we're not going to be able to achieve that. Guys, we do this. Now, you might be listening to this and saying, Cam, I don't do that. I'm positive all the time. I'm going to call you BS, because we will come into a situation in our business, in our family, in your profession, in your coaching, in your lifestyle, whatever it is, you're going to be faced with a situation in which you need to make a choice where you don't have the answers. So you're faced with a scenario and you won't have the answers and you'll have no one to turn to because you're in isolation. And in isolation, we die. Guys, we know this. I'm not going to beat this into the ground. I just want to make sure this little earworm is in your head right now. Men are struggling with mental health. I struggle with mental health. Guys, I've shared on another episode. You can go back and listen to it. One of my solo episodes where I shared that I had to go on a medical leave because it was a stress leave. I wasn't managing my mental health. I wasn't prioritizing my mental health. For so long in my life, I prioritized physical health, but not mental health. And that's why one of these pillars is a commitment to physical health and mental health. So how do you help yourself? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is surround yourself with a group of brothers, men who can challenge you, who can affirm you, who can lift you up. Because in isolation, my mentor, Big A, I shared this many times on here, and he did an episode, Aaron Walker did an episode where he says, isolation is the enemy of excellence. Now, whether you're looking to achieve excellence in your business, in your family, in the family dynamic, in your marriage, in your relationship with your kids and how you're a dad, in your physical health, excellence, financially, whatever it is, isolation is the enemy of excellence. And so prioritize your mental health. Now, isolation, of course, I would say there is power in a brotherhood. That's why the Dads Making Difference Mastermind exists. There's a power in a brotherhood of like-minded men who can get together, support, affirm, and challenge, and have unfiltered conversations so that you can see your blind spots, so you can see the things that maybe you weren't aware of, because we don't know what we don't know. So prioritizing your mental health is key. Now, guys, you might not be ready to jump into a group of men. You might be thinking, oh, I don't need all this fluffy, huggy, whatever stuff with men. I'm pretty good on my own. I'm going to challenge you. Find one person to connect with. Find one person. Sure, you can hire someone. You can hire a therapist. I strongly recommend it. You can hire someone, a counselor, a therapist, somebody, a psychologist, to be that person who in confidence and confidentiality you can connect with. Do that. There's a past guest, Quentin Hafner. Quentin is a fantastic therapist for men. Go back and check out his episode that we did. But you need to reach out and connect with someone. Don't do it with a friend, because your friends are your friends. They care about you too much. They're not going to ask you the hard questions, because you've been around each other too often. You talk about the game, you talk about sports, your family, your kids. But do you really, really peel back the layers? Start to ask the really hard questions. And if you do, I'm happy for you. Then use that friend as your guy. But if you don't, you need to find someone who is a friend, who's friendly, who cares about you, and heaven forbid we say loves you enough to ask you the hard, meaningful questions. They call you on your BS. I need that. I've got a group of men that I meet with every Monday who call me on mine, because a mastermind group does that. So, okay, let's go to this pillar, a commitment to physical and mental health. I've gone on my rant about mental health and why you need to prioritize it. Guys, if you are looking for someone to connect with, send me a message. I've got guys who are part of my network who've been on this podcast or haven't been on this podcast, but I'm connected with. I would love to connect you with someone depending on your specific. Maybe if it's marriage, maybe we connect you with Seth Studley or Tony DiLorenzo. If it's finances, we got Rocky Lalvani and Kurt Stowers and these past guests. And if it's relationship building with your kids, we've got experts in that. Guys, I am happy to help point you in the right direction. That's why you're here. I appreciate you. And I want to be able to give you what you need and provide value in your life. Now, under the pillar, commitment to physical and mental health, here's the description. A dad creates and implements shared vision for improving his health and well-being and the health and well-being of his family. So let's do that again. A dad creates and implements a vision for improving his own health and well-being and the health and well-being of his family. I want to challenge you for a moment to just reflect and say, am I doing this right now? Am I prioritizing my mental and physical health for my personal well-being so that I can help my family, my kids, my wife, my brothers, my sisters, my parents, my cousins, that I can help my family with their physical health and well-being? It's heavy work, but we're called to do it. We need to step up and we need to do the hard work so we can be the impact maker, the influencer that we're called to be in our families. Be a dad, making a difference. That's where the name came from. I want you to live a life of impact and influence, a life of significance. Are you doing that right now? So here are where we're going to start. Mental health. Prioritize your mental health. Reach out, small group, one-to-one connection. Start a journal. I got my journal here next to me on my desk. I got an online journal right here in front of me. I'm actually going to share some stuff from my iPad here today. But physical and mental health. I want to talk about physical health. You guys, I'm wearing a shirt that says Fight the Dad Bod on it. I started Fight the Dad Bod in 2015 because I wanted men to prioritize their physical health, to live a fit, healthy, fulfilled life with their family. And that's just not a marketing thing. I was seeing men, and I still see men struggling in their physical health. And what happens is that directly impacts their health in their relationships, their health mentally, their health financially, their health in business and entrepreneurship. Men, prioritize your physical health. Actually, right after I record this podcast, I'm jumping on a call with a cohort of men in Fight the Dad Bod right now. And I'm loving this because these cohorts that I'm running currently, they're all parts of existing mastermind groups, other mastermind groups, actually not Dads Making a Difference groups, which is kind of cool. So branching out, but they have something in common. They already have a brotherhood around them that trusts them. So the conversations we get into are they're touchy at times, but they're honest, they're transparent, and they encourage people. They encourage other men in the group. But these cohorts are really important because in isolation, we can go one-on-one coaching, which is great. But when you have other guys around you who are going through something that you're also going through, who are on a journey with you, it just creates an environment in which you can be challenged, held accountable, and know that you're being supported and you're not alone. One of the benefits of being parts of teams growing up was I knew I was never alone. And when I started to struggle with my mental health, it was when I was no longer on a team. I did not know who I was. I didn't know how to make friends, who I identified with. That led me down a really dark path, guys. I've shared that. A bad relationship with food, a bad vision and personal image of my body and what it meant to be fit, impacted my relationship with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. And then when we had kids, impacted my relationship with my wife and my newborn kids. That's why I started to Fight the Dad Bod. So I want to challenge you to prioritize your physical health. And it doesn't have to be over the top, jump into a plan. It could be just seeking out the right information to take the right step. I've said this on here already multiple times, but 1% mindset. Make one change right now that's going to help push you forward in your physical health. Is it changing your nutrition practices? Believe it or not, is it changing your sleep practices? Going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning, which requires you to put your phone away, to put the garbage off the TV, to have some downtime so you can sleep. Is that what it is? Prioritizing your sleep? Maybe it's knowing how to eat PFC every 3. If you want to learn how to eat proteins, fats, carbohydrates every 3 hours, we'll take the guesswork out of it. We'll give you exactly the steps to do so you can get a head start. And you don't even need to talk to me about it. Go to fightthedadbod.com, download my free training, 7 steps to lose 7 pounds in 7 days. And I'm going to be very honest with you, 7 steps to lose 7 pounds in 7 days. Only one of those is going to really tell you about the nutrition side. Just plug and play. Here's what to eat. Here's when to eat it. Here's how you're going to do it. It's going to help you blast bloat and inflammation over the next week. The 6 steps before that are going to set you up for success. They're the keys, the secrets, the things that I've learned over my journey and the journey of the hundreds of men that I've been able to coach and blessed to be connected with, what they've struggled with. And I want to give you the answers now so you can stop guessing and start performing. Hey guys, I wanted to take a moment and talk about our community of DMD brothers in the DMD Mastermind. We are men who help each other to stay focused and intentional in our pursuits of personal, professional, physical, financial, emotional, and spiritual growth. We are a community of men who bring courage, wisdom, and transparency to unfiltered conversations that challenge us to be more impactful men, to be dads making a difference. We do this through our online and in-person events where men come together to speak into each other's lives and then turn around and do the deep work to create change in their families, in their businesses, and in the community around them. If you are wondering if this community might be right for you, you can find more information on the DMD Mastermind, and you can also book a call directly with me at dmdmastermind.com. Now, let's get back to our show. Start performing better at 1% increments so you can prioritize your physical health. I'm going to tell you, I haven't met a guy yet who's done some type of program, some type of workout, some type of plan that he's followed, even if that's once or twice a week, who hasn't come back and said, Cam, I feel more confident. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. Cam, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm making more money than ever because I'm prioritizing my physical health. Guys who are business owners or in leadership positions of, man, I just feel more confident in connecting with my team. There is a piece to your physical development that impacts your mental health, which we also talked about. And this plays an important part in your development as a father. I'm going to tell you, I've been struggling with my own physical health over the last month. I've been smacked in the face with an extremely intense situation at work. If you want to know what it is, just Google Chinook High School right now, and you will know what we've been navigating. Vice principal of that school, in charge of athletics. And so there's some context for you. And so right now, coming out of a month where I've been just pouring everything out of myself to support others, I wasn't taking the time to pour into myself. I was pouring out, not taking in, pouring out, not taking in. And one of the things that went quickly, which often does for us, and I'm going to be honest with you, what goes fast for me is the workout stop. And then when the workouts stop, I start to not eat as well. And when I don't eat as well, I don't sleep as well. And then I'm more irritable and I'm hangry and I'm not the dad I want to be and the husband I want to be. I'm shorter. I find myself going on more solo drives to cool my head. Man, I don't need that. So over the last 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, Thursday last week, so 6 days, I have been very intentional about doing one thing, one step. And I'm going to share a big win. Today's a big win for me. I just got back from the gym. I didn't work out. I swam in the pool. Like I got myself on. I was going to sit in the hot tub. That's why I was going. I'll be completely transparent. I was just tired. I just want to sit in the hot tub. And I was there. It's like, no, you know what? I am here. I need to walk the walk. And so I went to this vending machine. I bought goggles out of this vending machine because I didn't have any. And I went out to the pool and I did 10 links. 10. Back and forth is one. So back and forth, back and forth. I was gassed. It was hard. I went and sat in the hot tub for the last 10 minutes I was there after doing my 10. I almost had a smile on my face, but I can just feel my heart pounding in my chest. And there's something about that feeling to know you're alive, to know you are in control of your destination. No matter what's happening around you, you can control your activity. You can control what you eat. You can control how you prioritize your health, both mentally and physically. And in that moment, only a few hours ago, I was able to sit there and realize I could take back control. And I want to challenge you this week. Do one thing to take back control. Do a quick workout. Do a home workout. Follow something on YouTube or go to fightthedadbod.com and go to resources. I have a whole home workout bundle there. You just download it. It gives you, I think there's like 30 home workouts in there. But just do one thing. It got me so excited that I came home today from the gym. I saw my daughter first come in the house. I'm like, guess what? Dad swam. And she gave me like a big high five because she knows that over the last month, I'm like, I got to get back in the pool. I got to get back in the pool. She's like, Dad, you said you were going to get up early and go. Well, I'm struggling with the getting up early again. If you know me, for about a year, I was getting up at like 4:45, getting to the pool at 5. And it's just been really hard the last 6 weeks. I've really struggled with that. So right now, my one thing in the mornings is getting up, and then I read the Bible every morning. And that's what I'm challenging myself to do. Get up, read the Bible, walk the dog. A non-negotiable, 3 things I'm doing. I can't put in a morning workout right now because that's not my morning priority. I'm doing my workouts at the end of my day, which is okay now. I can do that now. And so challenge you to do one thing: walk the dog, get up early, walk the dog, go with a walk with your kids. But what I was going to share is I got home, I gave my daughter a big high five, and my son was downstairs watching TV, which is another thing. And I said, "Hey, Bray, come here, man." And so my daughter and my son are in the kitchen. I said, "Listen, we've never been a big TV video game family. But I find that over the last 3 weeks, the first thing that happens on a weekend in the mornings, the TV goes on. The first thing that happens after school is the TV's going on. I don't understand why. So here's what I want from you. You are involved in activities. Right now, my kids are doing climbing, bouldering, and it's 1 night a week for my son, 2 nights a week for my daughter. And I said, on the nights that you're not doing anything, I'm going to swing by the house after work. I'm going to pick you up right after school. And I'm going to bring you to the YMCA where I work out, this big, beautiful facility near our house. And I'm going to bring you. And we're going to play in the pool, or we're going to shoot around the gym, or we're going to run on the track. We're going to do something. We're not going to turn on the TV. All of that conversation, which, by the way, their reaction was like, "Oh, awesome. Okay. Can we go swimming on Wednesday? Can we do?" And they already started getting excited about it. Man, it doesn't take much to get your family moving, to be an inspiration for your kids. And it warmed my heart today when my kids were excited about that. I didn't hear a, "Oh, Dad, we got to turn the TV off. I want to watch my show." No, I heard a, "Oh, okay, that's great. Can we shoot in the gym and then go swimming?" Like, that's where they were at. And it was all because I chose, honestly, to swim today. I felt great. I felt alive. I came home. I had done one thing, the one thing that I wanted to do. And I shared it with my kids in a way that inspired them to say, "I want to be like my dad." And I want you to have that experience where your kids will say, "I want to be like my dad. I want to be active with my dad. I want to get out there. And I'm going to work out and play in the pool and throw the ball. And in a couple of weeks here, we'll be playing in the snow." But I just want them to look at me as an example of what life could be like. Not as an example of what not to do. I don't want my kids to grow up, be 18 and 20 years old and look back and say, "Yeah, my dad's tired. He works really hard. But I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go work out, but I'm not going to ask my dad because he's tired." I don't want that. I want them to look at me like, "Dad, let's go. Let's go. We prioritize our health. We prioritize our health." And I'm going to challenge you today to prioritize your health physically and mentally. Do it for yourself, because self-care isn't selfish. So do it for yourself. But do it knowing that by being selfish for yourself and being able to prioritize your mental health and your physical health, you are actually doing this for your family. Believe it or not, you are doing this for your family. Doing it for yourself is doing it for your family. Every man I work with who has kids and fight the dad bod, every dad I work with says this: "I want to do this so I can be more active with my kids." Everyone. It doesn't matter if they have 80 pounds to lose or 8 pounds to lose, which, by the way, weight loss brings them in, but the practice of accountability, the activity, the community, the result, that keeps them in. So yeah, they come in because they want to lose weight loss, but man, they feel all the benefits because we take the guesswork out. We hold them accountable. We just make it easy, plug and play. This is what you do. And then once they get moving, then we customize it for them. But they do it for themselves, but they also want to do it because they want to be better for their kids. Every single one. So my challenge to you is, do you want to be better for your kids right now? Be a dad making a difference for your kids. Yes, we want to be men who are attractive to our wives. We want men to have the energy to be intimate with our wives. Because guys, how many of you listening this to right now want to be intimate with your wife, but at the end of the day, the first thing you want to do is fall asleep? Take control of your health. Without your health, you have nothing. Without your health, you have nothing. That's the truth. We're building nest eggs and financial freedom and businesses, and we have all our kids and all these activities, which is all great. But at the end of the day, if you're not around, it doesn't matter. Without your health, you have nothing. So prioritize your health. That is why it's the quote unquote first pillar of Dad's Making a Difference. Because without prioritizing and a commitment to your physical and mental health, where you're implementing a shared vision with your family so that you are building your own health and well-being so you can lead your family in building health and well-being. Without that, you can't foster strong and healthy relationships. You won't have the energy, you won't have the presence, you won't have the accountability or the attention span. You won't be able to commit to growth. This is a commitment to growth, by the way. These are all interchangeable because you won't be able to gauge critically in your own reflection, in critical self-reflection, because you're too tired. And if you are critical, it's negative, not positive. Critical doesn't mean negative. Critical means, am I doing what I need to be doing? And if you're not prioritizing your physical and mental health, you're not doing what you can be doing. So then you're not going to fill that pillar. Responding appropriately. How many of us respond appropriately to our family and to our kids in situations where they're driving us a little bit batty? If we're hangry or we're tired or we're irritable or we're just super, super drained, we respond differently than if we are engaged, if we are feeling good about ourselves, we're feeling alive and we feel that heart beating in our chest. Organization and balance. I think that goes in with building healthy habits. Taking control of your physical health will help build healthy habits. And building capacity in others, and that's what I just shared. I want you to build capacity within your family, build leadership capacity within your kids, build ownership within your kids so that they can own their own journey, their own health journey. So here's a couple things you can do right now. I've shared a lot. I feel like I've been ranting a little bit, but you guys know that I'm passionate about this. So I wanted to come to you with this. Choose one thing. There's a book back here I have. It's called The One Thing. It's a great read. But in it, it says, what is the one thing I can do right now that makes everything else unnecessary or easier? So what is the one thing? What is the one thing in your physical and mental health this week that you can implement, that you can do, that's going to make everything else a little bit easier? Is it getting to bed earlier? Is it making sure that you're eating breakfast and you're not doing this fasting BS so that your body's fueled first thing in the morning and you're feeling your best? Is it cutting out caffeine, an artificial stimulant that's blocking your neuroreceptors in your brain, making you not feel tired, but you're actually tired because you're not getting enough sleep, and it's an appetite suppressant, so you're not eating, which leads you to be hangry? So is it cutting out caffeine or alcohol? I'm just going to challenge you right now. I want you to do this. And I want you to comment. You can go to at Dad's Making a Difference on Instagram or on the YouTube channel, make a comment below this video, or send me an email directly, cam@dmdpodcast.com. Then tell me your one thing, and I'm going to hold you accountable. Every single person who sends me a message, who listens to this and sends me your one thing, I am personally going to reach out to you and hold you accountable this week. What is the one thing? Go to bed at the same time every night. Get up at the same time every morning. I challenge you all to do that. And I want you to eat one meal a day that's a proper balance of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. 5 ounces of protein, 5 ounces of carbs, 1 to 2 ounces of fat. I want you to do one family activity this week in the next 7 days. One thing, one physical activity. Walk the dog, wrestle in the yard, wrestle with your kids on the floor in the basement, go swimming, throw the ball with your son, whatever it is. I want you to tell me what you're going to do. And then mental health, connect with one person and just tell them how you're doing. Okay, just do that for me. I appreciate you, my brother. I'm glad that you're here. We're just going to keep bringing the value, man. I hope you can take these steps, implement them in your week. I appreciate your feedback. If you feel that you know someone who can benefit from even hearing a little bit of this message today and the things I wanted to share with you off my heart, please share this episode with them. And of course, we're trying to reach more and more men every week. So please share, like, subscribe. It's going to help us push our message forward. It's up to you. Go be it. Be a dad, making a difference. Talk soon.